Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday morning story time at Graves Library. I'm Miss Bryce, and I am in the children's room today with Redbird and Big Bear, and I'm so excited that you have decided to join me today. It is the last week in February already, and I was just looking outside today, and there's not a lot of color. You know, it's the end of winter, and spring is almost here. But there's a lot of grayness and white, and so, you know, I was thinking we're just going to add some color to our Friday. I hope you're okay with that. Before we get started, we have to sing our good morning song that we always sing together. So first we will get a little beat going, clap, and pat, like this. And then we'll sing our song about coming together. If you want to join in, you are more than welcome to. And you are also invited to just listen. Are you ready? Here we go. Here we are together, together, together. Here we are together at Graves Library with Miss Bryce and Big Bear and Redbird. And here we are together, together, together. Here we are together at Graves Library. Good job. So today I have two stories that I want to read to you. The first one is by Dr. Seuss, and it is a story called My Many Colored Days. It's a story about feelings and how sometimes it's kind of hard to describe how you feel, or it's hard to use words to tell people how you feel. So this is a different way of looking at feelings. I really love this story, and so get cozy. All right, My Many Colored Days by Dr. Seuss. Paintings by Steve Johnson and Lou Fancher. Shout out to Alfred A. Knopf. Some days are yellow, some days are blue. On different days, I'm different too. You'd be surprised how many ways I change on different colored days. On bright red days, how good it feels to be a horse and kick my heels. On other days, I'm other things. On bright blue days, I flap my wings. You see the bird. Some days, of course, feel sort of brown. And I feel slow and low, low down. Then comes a yellow day, and wee, I'm a buzzy, buzzy bee. Gray day, everything is gray. I watch, but nothing moves today. Then, all of a sudden, I'm a circus seal. On my orange days, that's how I feel. Green days, deep, deep in the sea, cool and quiet fish, that's me. On purple days, I'm sad. I groan. I drag my tail. I walk alone. But when my days are pink, it's great to jump and just not think. Then comes my black days, mad and loud. I howl. I growl at every cloud. Then comes a mixed-up day, and wham! I don't know who or what I am. But it all turns out all right, you see, and I go back to being me. The end. That story is really cool because it's very different from what Dr. Seuss usually writes about. But I really like it because he uses colors to try to explain how he feels. And this is just Dr. Seuss, though. I mean, on a blue day, you could feel super, super breezy, like a bird, or maybe blue means sad to you. Who knows? For me, I would have to agree with Dr. Seuss. When it's a yellow day, I'm feeling pretty buzzy like a bee. Very busy. Lots and lots of energy. Lots to do. And then definitely I would agree about pink days. Pink days, I'm kind of all over the place. I like to jump and play. What kind of day are you having today? If you could think of a color to describe how you feel, what color would that be today? The other one that I wanted to read to you today is by another one of my favorite authors, Carle, who is also an artist. And he also likes to use lots of color to explain different things. Color can be used to express things in art, lots of different ways. And this story is called The Artist Who Painted a Blue Horse by Carle. Shout out to Philomel Books. I am an artist, and I paint a blue horse. That's right. A red crocodile and a yellow cow and a pink rabbit and a green lion and an orange elephant and a purple fox and a black polar bear and a polka-dotted donkey. I am a good artist. And on the very last page, you'll see there's this really cool painting of a blue horse. So that's what inspired this story, or this is what made Carle want to make this book. He was inspired by an artist called Franz Marc, who did something a little different. He painted a blue horse, which Carle also painted a blue horse. Horses usually blue in nature? No. But in art, there are no rules. A blue horse is awesome. And so is a pink rabbit. All of these animals. Even the polka-dotted donkey at the end. The thing about art that's really fun is that you're the artist. You're in charge. You can make it any way you want it to be. And I like that Carle was inspired by another artist and wrote a story about it. So I was inspired by Carle and also another artist. She's an African-American artist named Alma Thomas. And she did lots of work with painting as well as collage, which is something that Carle liked to do. So what is collage? Collage is taking pieces of paper and then cutting or ripping them into different shapes and making them into something else. So you might have noticed if you picked up the craft kit to go for this week, there was some colored paper in there. So if you were going to make a collage with it, what you would do, if you have scissors, and it's okay with a grown-up that you use scissors, you can cut the paper in any shape you want. Maybe I'll do a rectangle. Maybe I'll do squares. Sometimes when I start making art, I don't really have a plan. Sometimes I just kind of play around and see how I feel. So basically, you cut, and then you use your glue stick, and then you start pasting it onto your paper, like this. You don't have to cut either. If you want, you can rip the paper. That's kind of cool, and that'll create a different shape. So when you rip, you just do like that. But you still have to glue it on to make it a collage. Just kind of play around. You've got lots of different colors to choose from. I don't know what your favorite color is or how you're feeling today. You could use the color if you're feeling buzzy like a bee. Maybe you're going to use yellow. Or maybe green is your color if you're feeling really excited. Or maybe you're feeling like you're kind of in a black mood today. So use black. You can do whatever you want. You're the artist. So Alma Thomas she was an artist, like I was saying, and she was known for her collages. And her collages looked something like this. So she would take a shape in one color. So what I did was I did a little collage here. I used some of my colored paper, and I started with red in the middle because that's just how I was feeling. And then I took orange and I went all the way around, and this is all collage. You'll notice that some of the paper looks different, and that's because I used watercolor too. I'll get there in a minute. So you can do whatever you want with it. It's kind of up to you. I just want you to kind of explore the idea of doing a collage, and also watercolors can be fun. If you're looking outside and you're feeling like you need a little color in your life, doing some art can really be fun. So if you have watercolors at home or you are able to pick up a storytime kit, you should have a watercolor palette with lots of different colors in here. So most of you have probably tried watercolor before, but if you haven't, that's totally okay. I'll just do a little quick tutorial on it. So when I have my palette, I have all my colors, and they're not really mixed up, and that I'll explain why in a minute. But you also need a paintbrush and a little cup of water. And the reason for that is that when you do watercolor, you have to choose a color, and then if you feel like mixing it up or changing color, use the water to clean the brush, right? So then the colors don't get mixed up too much in the palette. If they're mixed up on the paper, that's totally fine, but we don't really want them to get mixed up here. So what's my favorite color? Anybody know? It's blue. So I take a little bit of water on my brush, and then I put it into my palette, and then I put it on my paper like this. Now I used a lot of paint because I wanted that blue to be really, really dark. Does anyone know what to do if you want to make it lighter? That's right, you add more water. So if you want it to be like a light blue, this paint. So see how that happened? It's kind of cool. And if I want to use, if it's going to be like a really dark blue, then I'm going to use more paint, right? What if I want to mix colors? Change my color by washing my brush, right? Maybe I'll use some yellow, see what happens. So I've got yellow on my paintbrush. I'm going to put it next to the blue, really, really dark. And then I want it to go light yellow. So I'll just add some water. And then, want to see something really cool? Let me put this down for a second. So you might notice if I get this really close, I've got blue and I've got yellow right here. But then if I start mixing them together a little bit, I get a different color. Anybody guess what that color is in the middle? Do you know what color I'm making with green and with I just gave you the color. With blue and yellow, I made green. Isn't that cool? So just play around with that. Just have fun with the watercolors. You can kind of do whatever you feel like with the watercolors because they're yours. And you're the artist, you're in charge. Remember, there are no rules here. Just want to show you one more cool thing. You know how I was talking about Alma Thomas? So this is kind of like her style when she did paint. So this time I did circles because I felt like doing circles, but I just started with a big circle in the middle, and then I just did little dots all around, which is kind of fun. So I'll show you that. It's kind of fun. Maybe I'll do, what's my favorite color? Blue, that's right. Maybe I'll do blue in the middle. Maybe I'll do a little circle. Like that. And then what she did, which was kind of cool, and it's also kind of fun to do, it's kind of relaxing. She picked a different color. I'm gonna go with maybe orange this time. I like orange. And then she did little dots all the way around the blue one. See? And then she kept going. She kept changing colors and changing colors. Maybe I'll do red this time. I need more paint on there. See? Just little dots all the way around. Kind of fun to just play around with color. This one's kind of drippy, but this is kind of what it looked like when I was finished. It's good to take your time with art too, not rush through it. So anyways, that is, I think it's almost time for story time to be over. But there's just some inspiration for you today.